we're pouring water into a bathtub that has a giant hole ripped in the bottom.
How's it hanging, guys? My name is Sean, and today we have a Fox News interview. This was, I think it's almost a week old, and a lot of things that happened with the town hall and some other stuff, and I wasn't able to get it up, but I'm going to now, and there's a good clip in here that's, I really like it, believe it or not, because you got to consider this is Fox News, right, doing this interview. Yeah, Fox News, right? So you already know how the interview is going to be skewed, right? So you kind of accept that going forward. But Andrew really just he nails every question, and he really commands the audience, and he gets he gets not a standing ovation, but a huge applause at the end. This is a lefty who supports or is pushing UBI is on Fox News. That's bold, and he's definitely not afraid. Before we roll the clip, I just want you to pay close attention to this guy right here. I can't remember his name. They'll probably have it on screen, but whatever. Just pay close attention to him. Andrew Yang almost wins them all over, and this guy, remembers. Wait, we're Fox News. The talking points, right? And just okay. Let's go ahead and roll the clip. I think you'll enjoy.
Are you really this happy to be up this early? Okay. Meanwhile, thanks so much, guys. As the 2020 election looms closer, we're getting a better idea of the candidates' policy proposals. For example,
the American people want, and we are going to deliver, a Medicare for all single-payer system.
I want to put a wealth tax in place.
In my plan, the Freedom Dividend, every American adult would receive $1,000 a month, free and clear, no questions asked, from day one.
Okay, now that last guy, that's interesting. We want to hear more about it. And look who's on the couch, one of those presidential candidates, Andrew Yang. Andrew, good to have you.
Hey, Andrew, when we aired those sound bites and we came to yours, people in the audience were laughing. It sounds great, $12,000 a year for every adult. But how are you going to pay for that?
Yeah, so you have to look up who are going to be the biggest winners from artificial intelligence and self-driving cars and trucks and new technologies. It's going to be Amazon, Google, Facebook, Uber, which just filed its documents to go public.
Right.
And the American people are going to see very, very little of the gains from that innovation. We all saw that Amazon paid literally zero in federal taxes last year.
Aren't we going to work there?
Of course, some people are going to work there, but most of us are not going to work there.
Yeah.
And the truth is, if you're in Amazon, like you said, Steve, if you go to an Amazon fulfillment center, it's more robots than people. And if you talk to anyone on Amazon, that is very much the plan.
So your book, The War on Normal People, talks about how people are being replaced by automation and changing technologies and things like that. But people are still going to need money, and so you're suggesting a universal basic income. But, Andrew, there have been experiments in other parts of the United States and in other parts of the world where it just hasn't worked.
Well, you don't even need to look across the globe. All you have to do is look at Alaska, which has had a petroleum dividend for almost 40 years, and it's wildly popular, has created thousands of jobs,
because
has
they
improved
live
children's
there.
health. And this was passed by a Republican governor. He said, look, who would you rather get the money, the government who's just going to mess it up somehow, or you, the Alaskan people? And the Alaskan people said us, and now everyone's very, very thrilled about it.
Explain how the dividend works.
Yeah, so the way the petroleum dividend works is they put aside the oil money and they said, look, whatever profits come out from the pipeline, then it goes to the Alaskan people. So everyone in Alaska is getting between $1,000 and $2,000 a year, no questions asked. We need to do the same thing with technology and the new innovations in our economy. We can create a lot of wealth, but the question is right now, who's going to see that wealth? It is not going to be most Americans. It's going to be people who happen to be shareholders in these companies.
Andrew, who gave you something in life? Who gave you something for free in life? Are you a self-made success story?
Well,
why are you robbing other people their ability to be a self-made success story?
Well, the first people I thought of was my parents. I'm the son of immigrants. My parents came to this country to create a better life for me and my brother. And my father generated 69 U.S. patents for GE and IBM. I love this country. I believe this country's been the exemplar of innovation and success over the last number of decades. But we have to face facts about the fact that our economy is evolving in ways that's pushing more and more Americans to the sidelines. And then telling those Americans that are going to push to the sidelines, like, hey, like, you can be a multimillionaire success story too, while Amazon's making 30% of the stores in their town close, does not seem to me to be an honest exchange.
Your heart's in the right place. 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 James has a question. James, where are you?
All right.
All right, James, what's your question for Andrew?
It's about the Electoral College. Recently, we've been hearing more calls to eliminate it, and we heard during George Bush's election and recently during President Trump's. Why do people seem to think it's a good idea to let New York and California decide the election and ignore the rest of the country?
All right, James. And he says that in New York. Andrew, what do you think?
I agree with the questioner that getting rid of the Electoral College to me is like, I don't even know why we're talking about it, in the sense that it's been part of our laws for decades. It would require a constitutional amendment to change the Electoral College, which is good luck with that. But to your point, do we really want presidential candidates just campaigning in major media markets in big cities and overlooking the rest of the country? I mean, the constitutional framers were very wise. And I will say, as a Democrat, it's very, very bad form to look like you're trying to change the rules when you've been losing by rules that everyone's been agreeing upon for decades.
Right.
Okay, I think Ann has a question for you. Where is Ann?
Ann?
Where is
Right
Ann?
over there.
There's Ann in the back.
All right. What's your question?
My question is, a lot of the Democrats are running on fixing what's wrong with America, and I know jobs are up. I don't think popular belief of, because everybody has two jobs, that's why unemployment is low. I think people, myself, probably many people in this room, are bringing home more money in their paycheck. And you just said your parents were immigrants. Well, I don't think they came to the country and sat back and said, okay, now take care of me. They went out and worked for what they had. And I always grew up that if you worked hard, you could have whatever you want. So what exactly are you planning to fix in America?
Yes. So you can look at different sets of numbers and statistics, but the fact is 78% of Americans say they're living paycheck to paycheck, 57% say they can't afford an unexpected $500 bill, and 94% of the new jobs created since 2005 have been temporary gig or contract work, much of which does not include health insurance or other benefits. So if we put $1,000 a month in the hands of everyday Americans, you're going to spend it in your local communities. You're going to create 2 million new jobs. It's going to go right into your Main Street economies, and we're all going to be better off for it.
Okay. Thank you very much for the questions. His book is now available in paperback. It's called The War on Normal People. Andrew Yang, thank you very much for joining us. Let's hope.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thanks so much, Andrew. Best of luck.
All right. Meanwhile, there is a...
All right, so there we have it. It's, this the status quo. He went on Fox News. I honestly expected a lot worse. I honestly expected them to just come in hard on him with socialist narrative and stuff like that. And that one guy, man, you could tell he just couldn't let it go. He had to just come in real quick and kind of just get almost like a little snake bite in just real quick. And like the audience, the Fox News audience, so they had a Fox News sort of question, and Andrew Yang nailed it. And the other guys is it like a Steve Doocy? Is that his name? God, that sounds like an insult, don't it? Don't be a Doocy. But anyways, they're almost like nodding their head along and kind of smiling, almost as if they're kind of being won over. And they noticed that Andrew Yang's really speaking some good truth and really just commanding that audience, the Fox News conservative audience. That's crazy. And it's just further proof that Andrew Yang can really bring the divide closer. And I don't want to sit here and trash on Fox News just because I knew that's what was going to happen. You know what I mean? I do hate it more so whenever, quote unquote, our side does this type of stuff to Andrew.
Never in the history of the Republic have we had someone have the highest office of the land without military experience or public service experience. I think a lot of people feel like it's an enormously failed experiment. Why roll the dice on that again?
Mr. Yang, you may know that white nationalists are supporting you online. They seem to have seized on some of your statements, which they say are proof that you are particularly concerned about white people.
Final question. You have a lot of following online, and there's some part of that following online that are some people with some really gnarly views. Like, you have weirdly attracted some white nationalists, some
No, he hasn't.
people in the kind of darker, grosser parts of the internet who have cottoned on to you. What do you think about people with, you know, white supremacist avatars who are supporting you?
Only because that they have, you know, picked their own candidate ahead of time, and you can tell because Joe Biden hadn't really announced, and they're keep pushing him. You know what I mean? So it's like, instead of focusing on the candidates who have announced, which is actual news, they just want to focus on people who are thinking about it or haven't announced because they want them to run so they can all rally behind them, establishment person. I just hate when that side does that to that person. You know, like Andrew Yang comes on to all these left shows and he's spouting a bunch of stuff that the majority of the left spectrum agrees with. It's just a fact. You look at all the stats, the majority of the left agrees with every single thing that Andrew Yang is saying. And subsequently, center of the road, libertarians, classical liberals, and a lot of the right all agree with a lot of these issues. Not all of them, but some of them. And the fact that you can tell that he's genuine when he talks and he doesn't sway from his points, and his points are concise and pretty much the same every single time. I haven't heard too many contradictions from Andrew Yang, and if there is, please head in the comment section and let me know. But yeah, you guys seen it for yourself. It's typical Fox News, but he nails every single question, and it's just another win in the hat for our boy. You know what I'm saying? Mark another one on the board. So also recently passed 1,000 subscribers. That's insane. So I just want to say thank you if you guys are watching all the way to the end. And yeah, that's about all I got for you guys today. I'll see you tomorrow with something else, probably another town hall clip, something like that. But anyways.
So universal basic income. My initial knee-jerk reaction was, get the fuck out of here.
I'm immensely grateful to everyone who's gotten this campaign to this point, and you haven't seen nothing yet. I mean, we're going to go very, very far together.